Hey everybody, it's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength, episode 311. Did not miss an episode because I recorded more before I left for vacation. We had a great time on vacation. Florida sunshine always feels good. About 2 hours out on the road trip from Florida. Devin was ready to kill me, but that's to be expected. It's hard to stay in the car with me for 20 plus hours. And that week that we left, I did a 72-hour fast to start the week off. Had Mexican Wednesday night, which is today is Wednesday as I'm recording this. It's a Mexican night. I really look forward to that. So that's pretty awesome. And you got to give yourself stuff to look forward to during the week like that when it comes to nutrition. Anyhow, we left on a Thursday afternoon, and I knew I wanted to push it and see how far we could get. So I had made up my mind that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to eat again today. So I did 72 and a 48 that week. And that was the first day I implemented caffeine in 100 days. Did not have the same effect that it had last time I went 110 days without caffeine. But I like to think that it gave me a little boost. But I didn't get high off it or anything like last time. Last time it gave me a real good buzz. So we had a great time down there. And yesterday, I was actually over at Foundations First, Braxton's school where Devin teaches and has a kind of an administrator type role over there. I was over there helping to run their field day. So I kind of went back in time, which is the theme of what I'm going to announce here in a second. And it's been 2012, really 11 years since I ran a field day, helped to run a field day with my colleagues at Milltown over in Bridgewater. It's 2012, I went to field day, but I was in a wheelchair and I was already out of school with my first patella tendon rupture, and that was in April when it happened. But I went in to visit the kids, but it didn't have much to do with it. I wanted to see them. So I stepped back in time. Now, at that point in my life, I had already started the business. But earlier on, like 2007, 2008, as I was really getting into the training of clients and building the business, I remember every break that I had when I wasn't writing an article or studying, I was visualizing, having clients, having athletes to train, having clients, doing this and that, and my schedule being full with clients. I remember talking to my principal at an assembly before it got started, because he knew what my passion was and what my path was, how much I wanted to really build the business. And I was willing to train people for $5 an hour, sometimes even free. I didn't actually do that, but I wanted to build the business. I wanted to train people. I loved training. I still love it. So a lot of visualization. And funny enough, when I look back in those visualizations, they were kind of smaller time thinking. Like all that stuff happened in 100 times over. So the power of visualization is a very real thing. So the big announcement I have that I want to share with you guys, and then you can relate this to your own life, is for the remainder of the calendar year, I'm going back in to be the head trainer, head coach at Newell Strength. Something I've toyed with for a little while now, and I will go into the reasons here in a second, but I'm going to be the head trainer. Currently, it's Dana. Dana's still going to be coaching with us. Dana's been with me and with us for 8+ years now. She's awesome. But she's going to be sliding a little bit more over into the sales role, so her capacity is limited. And I have an ad out, so we're bringing on a new coach at Newell Strength. I've got a key candidate in mind that I'm very excited about. Be a full-time coach with the capacity to become that head trainer. But the mistake I made throughout the years, I have never done a good job of teaching my coaches my exact philosophy, and that's training philosophy, that is life philosophy, mindset philosophy, Panda philosophy. I assumed that people can just read my mind, and that's always been my big issue, is my brain is usually going a million miles an hour. And I think things can happen by transmutation sometimes. Dana did a great job with the head trainer role. Mike did a great job before that with the head trainer role. But as I have the ad out there and we're driving down to Florida, and this is part of the reason that I love road trips, talking with Devin, and I said, you know what? I think it has to be me for now, the head trainer. And there was hesitancy for me to bring that up to her. And she goes, finally, she goes, I've been waiting for this for so long, for you to step back into that role. Why now is the question. So this year, the strategy for Newell Strength, as I mentioned, heading into the calendar year, was I was going to become full-time entrepreneur again, where I had the schedule and the flexibility to really dive in and right the ship, so to speak. Again, this all falls on me. With that being said, the first quarter of the year, my goal was to get back into the gyms a little more, observe more, get the energy elevated again. And I brought on Evan, who is our marketing guy. And Evan's doing a great job. So most of my time, the past number of years for Newell Strength, has been spent on marketing. And thanks, Anya. And really doing that aspect of the business, which I have a big passion for as well. But the funny thing is with Evan even, I'm very open with him. I tell him, listen, I am not good at delegating. Not that I don't want to delegate, but even with Evan, I've got to stay focused as far as meeting with him every week. This is how you do things. This is why. This is the marketing philosophy that I have. This is who I've learned from. So it's really good because now I can see that with the coaches, right? So the first quarter, that was my strategy. This quarter, it was to improve the product, tweak the team a little bit. So this new coach that I will be bringing on will be a full-timer. So we're trying to really build around the full-time team. And then having myself in there for the rest of the calendar year, at least as the head trainer, to teach them. And I'm going to go over at the end of this episode, which will probably be about another 8 minutes or so, what that looks like. What that looks like. I have the capacity now to do this. Devin, the timing's perfect. She finishes school next week. Thank you, Scott. She finishes school next week. She will be home with the kids. And I've got the energy now. I have the energy to do this. For a long time, and not that it's right or wrong, you have to play with your concept of success and what your definition of success is. To me, for a while, it was, and I still think I'm on the right track with it, but how I do that is a different thing. Being able to remove yourself from the business. So this will tie into the next thing we're going to talk about as far as self-belief. But I have the capacity, and I realize I'm very clear on what my mission in life is. I have zero doubts that I've been placed on this earth to inspire other people to transform their lives. That's why I am here. And whether that's through training, whether that's through conversation, writing, mind mapping, fasting, listening, whatever that is, whatever the vehicle is at that current relationship with whoever it is, my mission in life is to transform people's lives, to inspire people to transform their lives. And as I looked at it, I said, man, you have your disciples, right, for lack of a better term, which is my team. And I need to do a much more thorough job of teaching them, right? They're so great. They're great people. They've done wonderful jobs. But if I can, when I get back in and really teach and mentor, they're going to be that much more powerful, and is what I envision and believe. So I also get clear on my role in life, right? So my role right now in life, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and then I'm a coach. Those are my three primary things. Father, husband, and I'm a coach at heart. Louis Simmons, who was a mentor to me, he was in one of my books. I talk with Louis graciously and gratefully 6 times in my life. Probably about an hour long conversation each time, maybe more for some of them. Louis was a legend. Louis died about a month ago, and I think I talked about this recently. He's the third of my 5 fitness mentors that have passed recently. And all of them were still teaching and coaching right up to the time of their death. So they were lifelong coaches. So I'm a coach. That's what I do. And that's something that's becoming more and more clear to me. As a coach, the term comes from stagecoach. It's to be able to get somebody from point A to point B. The point B is a spot that they can't get to on their own, right? So I'm going to be coaching one way or another in some capacity my whole life, whether that's actual physical training, whether it's mind map clients, whatever it is. I'm a coach. In being a father, I've got to lead by example for my children. You know, they're young. They're 6, 4, and 2. But believe me, they're watching what I do. You know, just as your kids watch what you do all the time. So really building something that they can be proud of. That's going to be part of the legacy I leave behind. Not that they have to get involved in dual strength at all. But to build something that can stand, that they can be proud of. Maybe they want to take over one day. Or maybe that can stand long after I'm gone, right? Like if dual strength exists after I'm gone from this earth, I mean, imagine that, right? So in some ways this year, I'm restarting from not the ground floor, but I'm restarting. I've got to go back to the basics, got to go back to the experience I now have and the insight I now have. So real excited about that. And I'm a leader, guys. I know I'm a leader. We're all leaders in our own lives. And I realize that I'm a leader, right? You look at it, it's coming up on a 2-year anniversary. There's just one example of leadership where we opened the gym to defy the governor's orders. And I'll do a show on that next week. I'll give you more insight into what happened behind the scenes now that we're 2 years out from that. But I am a leader. But just because I'm a leader, it doesn't mean that sometimes I am bulletproof or I have 100% self-belief, right? I'm a very strong-hearted, strong-minded person. But I have the imposter syndrome all the time, like everybody else does. Like, why do people listen to me? You know, man, people are going to figure out that I'm a phony, that maybe you don't really know what you're talking about. And that is something that, I'm not going to say that it's a struggle, but that's something that's always present. I don't care who you are, the imposter syndrome. And Devin would remind me, and she reminded me on this recent road trip, that your team wants to learn from you. You have so much to offer them and to share with them. You have to do it. And in my mind, a lot of times I'm like, they don't want to learn, from me. There's other people that are doing a good job teaching them. It's just a silly mindset. So I guess really being confident in the fact that when I look at it as a coach, I know I'm one of the best in the world. And I don't care what anybody thinks about when they hear that. I really know that I am. And when I set out I remember Brooks, when my older brother, when he gave the speech at our wedding, the best man speech, part of it was, at that point, we had already opened the first facility. And he says, he's like, I remember, it was a real good speech, but he's like, I remember when, Kyle would tell me he wanted to be the best strength coach in the world. And that's what he just had his mindset on. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a strength coach, but it's the best coach. And I believe I'm one of the best in the world. So I've got to realize that and share that with my team. So what does this look like before I wrap up here? So I'll be teaching my coaches every week in private sessions. I'll be in both of the gyms throughout the week, observing and coaching some of the sessions. Obviously, I'm not going to be coaching 60 hours a week. I do not have the capacity for that. but I'm strategizing this week. I'll have my schedule finalized, so I can make sure I'm in each gym and kind of spread out evenly to really, like I said, get things to my standard. Not, and that 100% falls on me. But 100% falls on me, and that's where we can inspire more people to transform their lives. So that is my big announcement that I've been excited to share with you guys. Appreciate all the support, and yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We got a lot of good stuff. Renewal Strength coming up. Got a lot of good stuff just in life coming up. And these also are the new Panda Hats. So pretty cool. I'll be getting t-shirts made of these like this very soon. But thank you guys, as always, for all the support you always, show me, and all the love you always show me. And yeah, I'm just really pumped about this. I was making June's warm-ups already, so I got ideas what I want to do with the programming and whatnot. And, thank goodness I have thank God I should say I have such a great team, to support me at Newell Strength. And I will decom the schedule. Once that is finalized, I'll be sharing it with the members. And yeah, looking forward to it, guys. So just remember, wherever you're at in life, always be fluid. Put your ego aside and realize sometimes you have to reinvent yourself. Sometimes that just means getting back to the basics. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. I will catch you all later.